Hello everyone, it's Lel and it's time to talk about episode 14 from Delicious Party PreCure, which was an episode I really enjoyed. I laughed a lot, I had a lot of fun with this, and I feel like this episode got the groove back that was kind of lost in episode 13 in my opinion. The focus got back on the three girls and Mari, and they were the center point and the action revolved around them, even though it was not necessarily about them. This is one of the things I like about PreCure when it has focus on like secondary characters. Even though it doesn't seem Takumi can be seen as a secondary character, I believe he is part of the main cast. If you don't agree with me, I have a very strong argument. He is going to have his solo song in the vocal album of Delicious Party, just like Rosemary. So yes, I feel like they are part of the main cast of Delicious Party. So before we talk about the main events of the episode, let's talk about Amane. Amane is so far not appearing after Gentlu has been purified. But she was mentioned in this episode, just like the last one. So they go to her house, she is not there, she cannot talk to them, and the girls are very disappointed, but Kokone makes a very interesting remark about that, which is Amane is probably feeling a very strong burden or something like that because of what she did. So there is this mental strain on her because of everything that happened when she was brainwashed. So this is probably going to be addressed. Kokone just threw this in for us now for this to be addressed later on in the future of the show. And after that, Rosemary gave the girls the idea of going to Pretty Holic and buy her presents so that they can give her when she gets better. I wonder if one of those presents can become her transformation device later on in the show. I don't know. I'm very curious. We all know she's going to be the mid-season Cure finale. If you didn't know about that, I'm sorry about the spoiler, but you know, that's how the PreCure love and life goes. And let's talk about the episode itself, like all the other stuff. So we have a girl confessing to Takumi, and that scene was amazing because Rosemary was there like, don't go there. A love confession is going to happen. Stay here with me. Let's take a little peek. And they were all watching. And their reactions, they were very fun. Like, they were very different. We have 4 characters, and all of them had very different reactions. And we had Komekome becoming her human form. And she asked, like, what is love? So basically, this is like the question that is going to be that's going to arise. And they're more or less going to try to answer. At the same time, we have the best product placement. I love the product placement in Delicious Party. It's so in your face. We have the Sweets Crystal, and it's supposed to taste like your first love. And Adan introduces it. So after they see the confession and they talk to the girl that confessed to Takumi, they're going to eat the Sweets Crystal. And so we have like them eating those gummies. We have a big scene of them eating those gummies. And what I love about that is how much of an effect they give. And yes, it's a product placement, but I loved it nonetheless, especially because I feel like in the last few episodes, the 3 mascots, they kind of been shafted, and we could see a little bit more of them in that scene, It was cute. And in this episode, I feel like they were able to shine a lot in lots of like little scenes here and there. They were still able to make their presence and personalities come true. So that was very nice. And I really like that Mari was able to become this like love mentor to the girl. And they helped her a lot with her struggles. They validated her actions. That was very nice because, when you are young like that girl, it takes a lot of courage for you to stand up and go and, confess your feelings to someone. And I also enjoyed the way that she was able to understand her feelings. So basically, she noticed that she fell in love with Takumi because they eat their pasta the same way. They put ketchup and mayonnaise, which is, by the way, a great combination. And she started noticing Takumi more when she learned about that. But what's interesting about Takumi in that moment is that Takumi validated every other way of eating. He basically told his friends that every way of eating is valid. What matters is your taste. So, that was a very interesting thing. And I appreciate this episode a lot, even though it didn't really focus a lot on Takumi. I feel like this episode gave him some other layers that I felt that so far were missing on him, because basically what I believe in those first 13 episodes, his personality was basically being Yui's childhood friend who is in love with her and she doesn't notice. Now we can see a little bit more on Takumi's personality and I am enjoying it. So I like that, and I also enjoyed the fact that he puts pepper on everything. We all know his magic self is called black pepper. Because of the pepper, Yui started talking about all the ingredients you can put on food, and they completely shifted the topic on love and feelings to food, because that's all they can think of. And I love Delicious Party Girls for it. And Rosemary was like, girls, that is not the topic of the conversation. I loved Maddie's face in that scene. So the episode had lots of those great and funny moments. The comedy was so on point, and the timing of everything was so on point this episode. That scene with Maddie and Takumi talking in Nagomi's diner, girl, it was so good. It started very tense and then it softened up. And I really enjoyed the fact that Mari was able to understand that Takumi is in love with Yui. Mari probably noticed this for a while, and they confronted Takumi about this. It was so cool. Love that so much. That scene was amazing, and Takumi was trying to stray away from the conversation, especially when Yui arrived and Yui was like, oh, you were friends now? That's so cool. Oh god, that scene was great. And I also loved that scene when they were eating gummies. I forgot to talk about that. Mari shared their feelings of their first love and then encounter too. Are we going to see that in the show? To Animation, we need to see that in the show. And so it was very nice because in that gummy scene, it's supposed to taste like your first love. And they all had a good taste when they tasted it. And when Takumi tasted it in his own room, it was very bitter. So I wonder if Takumi's first love is going to feel bitter to him. So is he going to be rejected to Yui? Is Yui never going to notice? What's going to happen? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. What matters here is that the girls go meet that other girl that I already forgot the name, and they went on to eat out. And they ate pasta with eggs, which is for me a very different combination. It's not something I ever ate, I think. But I also loved the way each of them ate in their own way. And I really saw myself in Ran in that moment, because Ran eats however she's feeling at the day, in that day. So at that moment, she was putting lots of pepper sauce in her pasta, because that's how she was feeling at the moment, and that's how I eat. And then we have the villains, and in the villain side of the show in this episode, what was interesting to me was that finally Secretoru showed a little bit of emotion. She also tasted her first love. It was bittersweet. So for the first time, she showed something, and she felt a little flustered by remembering her first love, and also a little bit annoyed at Narcisro. I mean, who wouldn't be annoyed at him? I am definitely not annoyed by Narcisro. I love him. But if I were to live with him, girl, I would be very annoyed. So he came to attack, and the girls went onto the delicious field to attack. Important information, maybe not that important. They cannot get the girls' feelings, and the girls won't forget the feelings when eating, because they are protected by the Heart Thrower Watch. So they enter the delicious field, Takumi enters after them, so they start fighting. The fighting scene in this episode was surprisingly nice, but we have him, Black Pepper, joining. So I'm gonna first talk about the fighting aspect of Black Pepper. I did not really enjoy it. First, because I feel like the girls just got the power up and they're already not working anymore to justify the need of Black Pepper. And also, I think that what Black Pepper does, the other girls can do. At that moment, the way Black Pepper saved Cure Precious, it could have been Cure Yum Yum, or it could have been a shield by Cure Spicy. So I feel like there was something missing in terms of how he was introduced in the choreography of the fight. But there was something nice concerning Narciso. Narciso noticed that the Cures can fight, but there was another person that was always there who cannot, which is Rosemary. And Narciso basically paved the way for the Ubauzo to attack Rosemary so that Cure Precious would have to defend Rosemary. And that is basically the situation of Black Pepper appearing. But there is one thing I absolutely love about Black Pepper appearing at that scene, which was he had no idea what he was doing. And when they asked who he was, he didn't really know what to say. He was a little lost. And when Mari said, like, oh, you have a delicious tone, and he was like, yes, I do. Like, it was so good, you know? Like, he was trying to keep his cool, but he wasn't really being able to keep his cool. You know, I really enjoyed that moment. And I think that the most important thing here is that when Mari saw Black Pepper, Mari quickly, instantly remembered someone else. And judging by the hair and by the name, it is Takumi's father. And I love the name, Cinnamon. Girl, I was part of the Delicious Party PreCure and I didn't even know. So why is that Cinnamon? Takumi's father is called Shinada Monpei. So Shinada, Shina, Monpei, Mon, Shinamon, Cinnamon. So that is basically confirmation that Takumi's father was actually a cook fighter. And that they have a name, Cook Fighters. And girl, we didn't know that. I think that's the first time they mentioned the name of those warriors of Cookingdom. Cook Fighter. So yes, Cinnamon, Shina de Monpei, was a cook fighter before. And now I thought, based on the last episode, I thought that he never got the powers from the Delicious Stone. Like, he was never able to use those powers. But that is not true. He probably fought for a while as Cinnamon. And then he lost the ability to use the Delicious Stone because of something. And now I'm very, very curious about this something. What happened? What is going on? Delicious Party, you're making me so curious. Damn, I'm really enjoying all of this mystery. And I feel like this is the important part, like, concerning the plot. We have Cinnamon and we have Rosemary mentioning that they knew Cinnamon before and they saw Cinnamon in Takumi. And I was very surprised that the girls did not outright know it was Takumi. I thought that they were going to discover, but no, it's going to be a mystery for a while. Takumi's identity is going to be a little bit mysterious for the girls and for Mari as well. I wonder how long will it take for Takumi to be discovered, or for his clover to be blown, or for him to showcase his identity. I believe we might not see him as Black Pepper, like the girls knowing him, he is Black Pepper, for a while. I think his identity is going to be a secret for the girls, even after finale. I don't know. This is how I think. And so the girl at the end was rejected, obviously. We all know Takumi likes someone else. And the episode finished with the narrator, with Yui eating the gummy again, and the narrator saying like, oh, how does Yui's first love taste like? So I wonder if this is an indication. For now, I have a theory that the narrator is actually Yui herself, way, way, way older, when obviously she is on her older ages, with her grandchildren, with the family that she had with Takumi. This is the theory I have right now concerning the narrator of the story. It's Yui herself telling her grandkids her story as Cure Precious and everybody's story. This is just how I'm feeling. Next week, Kokone gets the starlight again, and I cannot wait to see it because Kokone is the queen. I absolutely love Kokone. You guys know how much I love her. I even got this look look at my Kokone merch. It's not much, but you know, I love Pure Spicy and I cannot wait for next week. Anyways, babies, this is all for now. This is my opinion on episode 14. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed this episode. How did you feel about it? Pure Spicy is strong and she's okay. She can protect and attack and do anything. She's the queen. Sorry, Pure Spicy. Anyways, babes, this is all. And a special thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching and until next time. Bye bye.